Thank you, Chris. So there's this question that is haunting me quarter after quarter. And that is, why do we keep on failing to connect goals and targets to strategy and experimentation? Because, guys, every time it happens again. I'm at the office, I'm drinking my coffee, and it's tasting a little bit more bitter than normal. I'm opening up my laptop, and then there it is. Bling! I got an email from our quarterly kickoff meeting. That is at least a 2-hour meeting where we are sitting all together as a team to discuss our strategic plans. And while I'm reading my email, in the corner of my eye, I see management walking towards the meeting room. I know what they're going to do. You guys probably also know what they're going to do. They're going to set these ambitious targets for us. Later they tell us, like, guys, we need to hit X amount of revenue this quarter. And so teams will start working on it, right? And it's a week before the big meeting. And I'm back at the office, and I see everyone being busy working on those PowerPoint slides. Right, everyone's trying to visualize with graphs and data to really empower, like, okay, we are going to hit those targets, what management told us. And then the day arrived. It's presentation day, and the kickoff meeting is about to start. And people are in the room, right, and they're presenting those strategic plans to management, full enthusiasm. And after the meeting, after this 2-hour meeting, people coming out of the room feeling excited, feeling pumped. Like, yes, we feel like we're gonna rock this quarter. But then, guys, something happens. And I don't understand why. Because so something happens because those strategic plans we had, suddenly they're collecting dust. And they're collecting dust, and teams are working not smoothly together as they thought they would. And we are actually not really making an impact on our strategic planning. And eventually it becomes painfully clear when we create this 60-page PowerPoint presentation, it becomes eventually painfully clear at the end of the quarter that we didn't hit our targets. Again. Does it sound familiar a little bit to you guys? Maybe. I heard some yes, I heard some no. Quick show of hands. Who here is setting targets? Who's working with targets? That is most of all of you. Great. Who actually achieved their targets last quarter? I see some show-offs, but some people here and there. The reason why some of you hit the targets and some of you don't actually has everything to do with the decisions you make. And to make this a little bit more clear, I want to make it a little bit more interactive on stage. I want to play a game. And for this game, I need a volunteer to join me on stage. Chris, you seem like a perfect fit. Will you join me on stage, please? Big applause for Chris, everyone. All right, Chris, you can stand over there.
Okay, where are we?
Yeah. Thank you for coming to stage completely voluntarily. By the way, Chris has absolutely, seriously no idea what's going to happen to him, so this is going to be fun. All right, Chris, you actually don't need your mic. We're going to play a game. And this game, don't be afraid. You know this game very well. It's rock, paper, scissors. Okay. All right? And you got one objective. Chris needs to win. All right? So he cannot lose, and a draw is also not enough. All right? Yeah. We're going to play it 2 times, so you have 2 chances. And we're going to do it like this, Chris. We're just going to stand in front of each other and do it on 4. So rock, paper, scissors, go. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes, just about. A bit nervous.
Yeah.
How good you are.
Exactly. On a scale from 1 to 10, how sure are you going to win from me?
6.
6. I like that 6, yes. All right. There we go. Rock, paper, scissors, go. Oh, you won actually, Chris. How did you do that? Wow, that's great. That's great. Wow. I think there's some gut feeling in there. But, okay, we're going to play it again. Great, you won. Let's see if you can win again. Okay? But this time, I'm going to give you a little bit more help. Or I'm going to pull a slide up. You can have a look at it. Also, the audience can have a look at it. And then Chris can make a decision out of that. All right? Yep. Here you go. All right, got it? Got what you need to do? All right, let's try it again. How confident are you now, Chris? 90%. 90%. All right, let's go. Rock, paper, scissors, go. Yeah, all right, you won again. Big applause for Chris, everyone. Thanks. So the reason why Chris actually won twice, I was surprised he won the first time, but why he won twice is because I showed him some data, eventually, where he could make an informed decisions on. And I want to make this point because hitting your targets is actually no different. Because your financial results are the outcome of each decision you make today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. So the better decisions we make, the better our financial results are going to be. Right? But, yeah, there's this problem, because we still see that most decisions are being made from the gut feeling. There was a study done by Harvard Business School where they stated that while more decisions are being made with data, still most of the leaders and management are making decisions from the gut feeling, especially the risky ones. For me, that's surprising. It's like, how is that possible? So, we guys have a job. Management needs help. And what if we told management that we have this special tool, this magic tool who can make better decisions? Even better, a tool that cut bad decisions in half. And the good thing is that we all got this tool already in our toolbox. I'm going to show you in our toolbox, in our magic toolbox. And here's my magic toolbox on this stage. I'm just going to open it. Let's see what's inside. Because guys, we all have the force of experimentation. We all got the force. Niels, you got the force. Ruben, you got the force. Do you want to feel the force? Yeah. How does it feel? Good. Does it good? Very good. Yeah? Do you want to feel the force as well? Oh, that's nice, isn't it? So guys, we all got the force of experimentation. We are ready to make better decisions and slay those bad decisions by management in half. But there's a challenge. Yeah, there it is. Oh, there's a challenge. And that challenge is a big challenge. Because guys, we have the force of experimentation, but we need to face this gigantic revenue-focused hippo. And it represents management. They don't care about goals, they only care about targets and goals. They demand impact and growth from us. And the force of experimentation, that's not always really a priority, is it? But then, Bjarn, we are ready for battle, right? We have the force. We are ready to slay those bad decisions in half by just running a bunch of experimentations, a bunch of testing, and we'll be fine. right? Wrong. Because the art of connecting revenue, KPIs, and OKRs to experimentation, that art is often lost. There's really a disconnect between the OKR set by management and experimentation to solve core strategic problems. So there's a strategic gap, right? And you could say, like, yeah, well, but, revenue, KPIs, and OKRs, they're set by management. We don't even have that much influence on it. Yet, we still need to work with them. And it's our job to use experimentation to close that strategic gap, to really work on the core strategic problems. So I put my sword down because having the force of experimentation, having it, doesn't mean that we all know how to use it. Because I see too many organizations actually fail to connect the strategy with their testing program. And I see still a lot of spaghetti testing. So I see people running a bunch of tests, hoping something sticks, and then, not really making an impact. I also see that we are more focused on hacks, tactics, and quick wins to get to our targets. But it's short-sighted. And thirdly, I also see that still a lot of siloed work. So still a lot of teams are still running their own agendas, and we are not working really together on solving those core strategic problems. And it comes down to this. In the testing world, I basically see two types of companies. Number one, I'm not sure if you see it well, it's company A. And company A, they don't set really clear OKRs and strategies. They're chasing those quick wins by those hacks and tactics. They do spaghetti testing, and that all leads to more siloed teams, more sloppy decisions, and eventually also not much growth. So on the contrary, we have company B. And company B actually sets clear OKRs and strategies. They have their teams aligned. They test strategically. And that results eventually in more impactful testing, better decisions, and also more growth. So the story I want to say here is that great strategic testing actually compounds. It has a compounding effect. So we need help a little bit, right? Because we are still struggling with solving the strategic gap. And here's our friend. He's going to help us. So today, I'm trying to train you guys to become really true experimentation Jedis. All right? And I want you to show you guys a simple yet powerful framework that transforms those ambitious targets into strategic experimentation. And I've been working, I've been looking at multiple models. I've been looking, for example, at goal tree mapping. I've been looking at opportunity solution framework with Teresa Torres. Also, I've been looking at triple diamond. I'm just trying to figure out what works best for our team to get there. Actually, I've been working already for 2 years, to really test everything out. I'm really excited to show that guy with you guys. So it's going to be very, very practical. And I want to talk about three main forces we're going to cover in the next 10 minutes. And that is, one, we're going to look, force one is like strategic alignment. We need to talk the same language as management. Force number two is opportunity discovery, where we're going to look more into how do we go from those OKRs set by management, how do we go then to the opportunities, and do that through insight discovery and opportunity discovery. And finally, we're going to look at solution discovery. So how do we really go from opportunities and break that really down into solutions we can test? Are you guys ready to get to the framework, to get practical? Hope so. There's not much enthusiasm, but let's see. All right. First force. All right. So we're going to talk about how we break down revenue into OKRs. So this is what management tells us to do. And most of the time, it starts with the business goals, right? Most of the time, that starts with revenue. What I do then is I like to break it down into the KPIs, where all the teams are focusing upon. So they have the key metrics, and eventually you can break it down into sub-metric. And eventually I write down the OKRs together with the team set by management. And as you can see, it looks familiar. I'm just putting this in Miro. And what is great about this stuff is that by just visualizing it and mapping it, like on Miro, for example, or the tools you're using, it just becomes so clear where management wants to go to. It serves a little bit like a map. That's not the only thing, because what I also like to do is per key metric, I like to attach which team is working on that. So I have the people who are more responsible and accountable for working on those metrics, which is really key. All right, so that was force one. So basically just talking the same language as management, just visualizing it. Let's go to force two, opportunity discovery. And this is more, again, this is very practical what we go to for an approach. So we start with an OKR set by management, and then we really need to figure out, okay, how are we going to break that down into the opportunities? How are we going to find opportunities there? What is an opportunity? Well, those are basically your customer pains, gains, and frustrations, right? So the better you understand your customer pains and frustrations, the better your solutions are going to be. Opportunities. So what do? First step is that first we plot basically all the data and information that we have. We plot it in Miro, and put it in here. But only the data that is connected to the OKRs. So all the rest, not really super relevant for now. And like Els already mentioned in the beginning, it's really important to just have really good data in here, right? It's fundamental. Then what we do then, step two, is that from this data we got, this raw data, then I write sticky notes and put it as insight. Nothing else. We're not going already into jumping into the conclusions. Step three is that when we do from this insight, all these insights together, we plot them together, and then we create some insight theming. So we create patterns, we create teams, we get signals, where we eventually prioritize them. Let's see which ones makes most sense for now, and then we use those as opportunities. So that's force two. And then the last force I want to talk about is this one. And that is how we, it didn't work forward. Oh yeah, sorry. So to make it more practical for you guys, is to go from your OKRs, how we did it at TomTom. I'm just want to quickly go through it. So first, data collection. At TomTom, most people say your guys are familiar from those sat-navs, right? But then the most asked question I get afterwards is, what do you guys actually do now? So we have a TomTom app, not many people know that. You could say that we're kind of competing with Google Maps and Waze, but it's a little bit different business model, because Google Maps and Waze are for free, and we are actually a paid app. You pay 20 quid per year for our app. So what we found in the data is that actually, when people go through our app and then onboarding, the frustration peaks, and they're surprised when they see our paywall. So we have a 7-day trial, but after that, you need to pay for the app. People are surprised by that. Okay. What I do then is step two, insights. Only thing I do, I write it down on a sticky note and put it there. Then from all these different resources we got, so it's very important to note that in the data and information part, it is combining quantitative and qualitative research, right? It's really about surveys and user interviews, combine that with GA stuff and Mixpanel. So insight theming, we go to the insights, we have this insight there, and eventually I write down my opportunity, which is that people are frustrated when they see our paywall pop up. Good to know. I got it locked in. Okay, then we're going to talk about the last force, which is force 3. You take away that opportunity. So this is really about how do we now go from that opportunity we found, how do we now go to solutions, strategic solutions we can perform and test. And it's really vital because we all know this part. We know the solution part because it's basically the test IDs what we have. Right? These are the different, doing different UX designs, having different features, our landing page is different. So how do we do that? How do you go to really get very good solutions? What I like to do is like doing the brainstorm session together with the team. I get together and I like to use the how might we method and also the 1, 2, 4 all brainstorm method. And I'm going to run quickly through what I mean because I found this super, super important, but also super meaningful to get the best solutions out of your team. So how does that look like? We talked about the opportunity. I write it down as a how might we framework, how might we format. So in this case, we have how might we take away the frustration and surprise when the paywall pops up. Then we go to number 2. This is the solutions. So these are the IDs that come up. So you see all these sticky notes on the screen, and those are all different colors. They're from different colleagues who are putting in these IDs. What is very important here is that you have to use this method 1, 2, 4 all method because it says that in the beginning of the brainstorm, I give people first 10 minutes time to really think about their own solutions. Then they're going to go be in pairs, discuss about the two. Then they go in 4, and then everyone discuss and pitch basically their IDs. And what does that is that instead of that, this one guy who is overruling the whole meeting by saying like, oh, I got this amazing ID, and everyone is like kind of, and most of the time it's management, so you locked in and you say nothing that much. But using that framework, it's like you get a lot of different IDs from everyone. Where is the most value? And eventually we also always keep track also of the KPI, right? So which is connected to that OKR. So the experiment we then did is that we talked about, all right, this is our app. Hope you can see it well. This is our app. You can see the onboarding. And here's the paywall screen. So you see a big blue button, and you see a trial timeline. And basically what you say, when you click on the big blue button, it says, start your 7-day free trial. And after that, you pay only 20 quid. So one of the ideas was to take away the frustration by a different design, which is this. So we changed a little bit, as you can see, the trial timeline, and we put a text in there like a money back guarantee, relax, you don't get to be charged today, only after 7 days. And we thought, these little copy changes, they're not going to do anything that much. It's probably not going to be doing much, but we're going to run the experiment. And actually, it was one of the biggest experiments we got so far, because eventually it was a winner and got us 5.7% more users actually starting that trial. And for us, that was huge because of the volume we were running through. And so that is how I make a strategic experimentation framework. So that is how, instead of those 60-page power presentation of our management, instead of that, I'm using this framework. And it really helps to make me to say the same language, talk the same language as management, and eventually also takes away the pain and frustration to connect those OKRs to strategic experimentation. If you're very keen, I was like, oh, this is cool. Where can I find this framework? It's on my LinkedIn. So if you go to my LinkedIn, you can feature there as a link to Miro. For there, you can check it out, this framework yourself. And the last thing I want to leave you guys with is this. It's not about fighting that hippo, right? It's not about we need to fight the hippo and their decisions. It's more about we need to be friends with the hippo. We need to hug them and to get better results together, solving those OKRs and do strategic experimentation. Thank you.
Thanks again for sharing everything online like that. It means a lot, I think, to people.
Yeah.
Sharing frameworks. So a couple of questions we've got time for. How do you calculate the ROI of an experiment program? Experimentation program? That's a big question.
That's a big question. Calculating the ROI from, it's not. So I think actually a talk from Spiro is touching up on this, but ROI calculation. I'm really curious. I can talk about this is a really big topic, so I can go different ways. If someone can reach out to me for that, it will be better, I think. Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's right. It's a huge question.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any value of quick wins in an experimentation, or would you say there's never strategic value there?
Well, you can try it. So you do quick wins to a certain extent. It's because, like I said, it has more a compounding effect eventually. So if you do more quick wins, more hacks, more tactic stuff, to really just always hit, because we're behind the quarter. I see it a lot of times myself. Management says to me, Bjarn, can we do a quick experiment because we just got 10% behind the quarter. Let's do an experiment, And that is not the goal. So I would say yes, you can do a quick win, but balance it. Please don't do it more often. Don't make it a habit out of it.
So do you think there's a danger if you start working that way that they'll
Eventually, people will get this. Yeah, they think, oh, this works, and worst case scenario, it actually works, and people start thinking this is the way to go, which is not.
it drives bad behaviors?
Yeah.
Cool. Have you found any impact from changing in 7 days to after 7 days? It's a very
Sorry, say that again.
have you found any impact from
Changing in 7 days to after 7 days.
I think it meant around that kind of like trial.
Yeah. So we tested first, like we had the first 30 days, and we tested that, and we saw that the 7 days one worked much better, also on a business case wise. So what we really try to do is like getting people to start with the 7 days trial, and then get to understand the value proposition of our TomTom app. And that's why we have the trial still. Putting the paywall up front wouldn't make that much sense there. And it's for us, it's really key to make people start driving. So the activation rate we really need to get up. And we want to experiment with 14 days. We have not done that yet. But for now, the 7 days is a sweet spot. Yeah.
Another one says, it's not a question, but just wanted to say, it was really clean,
Really interesting framework, very useful. So just
No,
a big
thank you. Thank you.
It's amazing. Actually, one question from me is when we start with the kind of what the overall objectives are
From-
the senior management, etc.
How do they decide what
What their OKRs are? How do they? I mean, does research
inform their
OKRs, or do it
Yeah.
just jumping straight?
No, actually, I have some.
Want to make more money?
No, I think if it works, it's not on the screen anymore. I had some backup slides actually to talk about this. Not sure if it can still be on. Maybe it is interesting. So how do you then really create those OKRs? Technical support is really busy. But I like this framework, what was mentioned on LinkedIn, and I have it on the backup slides, and also mentioned the guy's name. But basically it talked about that OKRs, we are not really good at creating OKRs. We're actually very bad at it. And there we go. So here's the backup slides, and not this one, not this one. This one, yes. Oh, sorry. One back. There. So in this slide, this guy is talking about that we need to be more focused on outcome, relevance, alignment, and the audience. And I found this kind of framework really useful to create your own OKRs, if that was the question. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic.
Thank you.
So much, Bjarn.
Thank you.